Hey everyone, today we're actually going to be discussing a topic that has literally gone viral. It's also very controversial in my opinion. And what we've learned through everything that has leaked out into the press is that when it comes to infidelity, karma either shows up in your home, at work, or even at a Coldplay concert. So on that note, Alex, let's jump into this today.
Let's get it.
You know me, I'm not really a scandal type person. I have not even spoken about scandals on this podcast. But this is one that hits very close to home.
Totally.
Because I have a couple girlfriends going through this as we speak. Finding out that their husbands were cheating, living double lives, so to speak. And I think the biggest thing to do is talk about it on a much deeper level.
Totally.
On a level of non-judgment. You know, I believe everyone has different reasons on why they cheat.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I was cheated on, but that was when I was a lot younger.
Same here.
In adulthood, in my relationships in adulthood, I have not experienced it.
Me as well. When I was younger, it stung.
Right,
and
it sticks.
It sticks. But yeah, in my adulthood, we're knocking on wood. There has not been infidelity. Because it's one of those things, it's like when you touch something hot when you weren't supposed to when you were younger, and you just know not to going forward. And I just never wanted to have that feeling again. And
100%.
Having girlfriends and friends close to me go through it, it just brings back all the things.
Too many.
Even on this level.
Yes.
And I've never met these people, and I can even feel the energy.
Oh, 100%. So if you guys don't know, which I don't know how you can't because it's literally all over socials.
It's everywhere.
Is the kiss cam scandal with the Astronomer CEO is what we really want to dive into today. But we really want to pick apart infidelity as its own entity. And I think when you talk about infidelity, a lot of people connect to it in different ways, whether it's emotional cheating, physical cheating, maybe not being there for your partner's needs. That in its own right could feel like cheating. I think cheating is looked at differently in different cultures.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And I also think cheating is looked at differently in different sexes. Men may view cheating differently than how women view cheating.
Totally.
Right? Women normally come from a place of emotion, emotional attachment. With men, it's physical most of the time.
Isn't that interesting?
Very interesting.
There has to be a science as to why that is the way it is.
Agree.
Because I'm very observant. And if I see someone that is clearly married and then looking, and we all have wandering eyes, but it's different when you're looking and you're really looking. Even that I consider it as just like, come on.
Yeah. There's a difference between checking somebody out because you find them attractive or undressing them with your eyes.
Oh, totally. So well put.
It's uncomfortable.
So well put.
Because I've had that.
Oh gosh, that's what I'm saying. Speaking from experience, I felt that. And being on the receiving end, I just, no bueno.
No.
Because I'm very observant. So I love to look, and I have a wandering eye. And even if I'm looking at a man, if I was with my boyfriend, I'm like, oh, his outfit's so awesome.
Yes, because you and I are visual.
His tattoo's so cool.
Right. But you're also in the styling industry.
But my eye's just not like, it's all about context.
Yes, it is. It is. Perception, context. If you're with your wife and with your children, let's reel it in a little bit.
Totally.
And also, let me be really clear. We're not man-hating here and saying men are the only ones that cheat. There's plenty of women that cheat as well. But we want to dive into the kiss cam scandal, and that is where the CEO of Astronomer happens to be a man and got caught. I mean, in my mind, I'm just like, you're at a public event.
Extremely public.
You're in I believe, like an actual VIP box.
And you guys know, if you've had to have been to a concert, a box is a little bit more like, you can
stand
see
out.
them.
People are always looking up just to see.
It's kind of like being in an Apple store. You're kind of like, it's like a see-through situation. You can peep through, when celebrities are at games, or even you can kind of like, oh, dang, I can see,
Exactly.
It's way more visible than just being in the audience.
It's normally high rollers that are up in those boxes. Even when on a lower level, when I would go to like hockey games.
Yeah.
Or you go to football games. Sporting events. And you always want to look up in those boxes and see who's sitting in there, right? Because it's like the who's who that's normally in the boxes. So in my mind, let's be real. How did this guy not think he was going to get caught?
I have no idea. That's why we're saying, like, this is out of left field on so many different levels.
Yes.
I mean, what did he even say to his wife? Like, hey, I'm just going to a concert tonight, and then this unveils.
Right.
Or his children.
Or do I have a business meeting?
I have a business. You know, he does have a family.
He's got a family.
Both of them do have families.
Yes.
So, I mean, this just makes me question so many things that are going on. And I think when someone's on a high like this, you're not really thinking. You're kind of just doing.
It's emotion.
And you're kind of just like the dopamine, you know?
Yep. Dopamine dump.
Exactly. So they're coasting, and they hadn't gotten caught until then.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like we're comfortable probably.
Probably
and we're
thrill of the chase.
Exactly. They're on the high, and they're not even anticipating that there could be a low.
Correct. You know, it's almost like the roller coaster.
Totally.
You're building, and you're slowly going up the hill, and then you hit the peak. And I think the kiss cam was the peak.
Oh, was it sure was?
And then it was just crash and burn.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
But I'll say this. His wife very publicly dropped what was it that you actually sent to me?
An incredible statement.
Yes.
Public statement on her behalf. And she declared.
It was a mic drop.
It literally shook.
Yeah.
It was shooketh.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yes.
How powerful her words were. It wasn't to make anyone feel some type of way. It was for her to speak her truth. And, you know, in that type of standpoint, you do have to make a statement.
You do.
And a lot of people could have played victim, or she went out there and she just put her heart on the line in the most prophetic and incredible way.
Yeah. And, you know, she turned a really hard public, right, traumatic event, which I'm sure she's feeling it behind closed doors like we all do when we experience infidelity or any kind of betrayal.
Yeah, betrayal.
She is turning it into power. And I think that's such a teachable moment for any woman or man that's going through infidelity with a spouse, is instead of adding fuel to that fire, especially if there's children involved, how can you take that situation and mic drop it? Literally take anything hard, painful. You know, I think as a woman, you start questioning, where did things go awry? If this was something that maybe his unhappiness was being kept from her.
Yeah, you internalize it.
You internalize it, right? And so in her statement, which we will read later, just so that, you know, we are on top of this and we don't miss any pieces to the puzzle, she turns it into a very strong empowerment time for her. And let's also not forget, she has children that she's protecting, right?
And she's also in a role model position
Correct.
as a mother.
Yes.
And thrown into this incredibly terrible situation. She has to, you know, be at the forefront for her kids. They look up to her. Being
thrown into the alligator pit.
How's mommy going to react to this?
Correct.
The children probably are in school or have activities during summer. So they're probably going to have to hear this as well. You know, it's a trickle-down effect.
It is.
I think by her doing this, it really like kind of protects them in a different
100%.
sense.
And it protects her too.
It does. Totally.
You know, her own mental and emotional well-being.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
And that's where you don't realize how your actions can affect. And it's a whole wave.
It's a ripple effect.
It really is. That's how I think we learn this at a young age, is be aware of your actions, because they truly can affect. We don't realize, you know, even doing this podcast, you could positively impact so many incredible people.
Well, and I think it kind of just goes into the same category as divorce, right? So many women want to live in that character or title as a divorcee. But instead of looking at yourself as, well, I'm a divorced woman or I'm a divorcee, no, you're Lauren.
Exactly.
Or you're Alex.
Take
that title off the table. That's your past. The divorce is your past.
Those are labels.
Correct. So let's not define ourselves by labels. Totally. Let's define ourselves by the next chapter, like I always say, or what our story is going to look like.
And you're the author.
Correct.
So you get to, you're the one that gets to do this.
You get to
create. And that's the beauty, but we forget this sometimes.
Yes.
So I think, you know, from such an incredibly difficult time, you can take away a lot of lessons from even something like this.
Yes, most definitely.
And especially like what you just said with the divorcee, I can think of so many labels that I've labeled myself with in the past, and those were a part of my story, but they don't need to be.
They don't
It's
define
current,
you.
and they don't.
You know, and it's
And that's
cliche, but
beautiful.
a lot of people say, you know, in quotes, don't let divorce define your, you know, you're not defined by your divorce. And it's very true. Just like his wife, or possibly soon to be ex-wife, is choosing to not let his actions define what her outcome is going to be. And I think that's such a teachable moment for so many people. And I think viewing this scandal on a much deeper level, which is, I think, very hard for most people. But I'm very much the type of person that looks at a scenario like this and wants to pick it apart.
Oh gosh, yeah, dissect. Let's get
Because
into it.
it's so multi-layered.
Oh, of course, it always
Infidelity is so multi-layered.
It always is.
Right,
And we
reasons.
just have one perspective.
Correct.
Exactly. So like you
Correct.
said, there's so many different perspectives that just from this one topic.
Yes.
But by the world reacting
The way
to
it
this,
has.
you got to see that so many people can relate.
Correct.
And that's just something that's everyone has been in love in some type of sense, but everyone has also been deeply hurt
Yes.
by someone they love.
Yes.
And I think that's why at this time it really blew up the way it did, because we can all kind of put ourselves in that shoes. It's on a whole different scale, but this is extremely relatable and it's become very normalized.
Very normalized. And
Infidelity.
social media and technology is able to now amplify these scenarios. It's able to amplify infidelity. Technology also has hurt relationships, I think, in certain respects. You know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, technology.
Oh, it is.
It's great for so many things, but then if you look at the negative side of technology, it's very easy to fall into temptation with technology.
Gosh, yes.
And with the swiping right and, you know, the sugardaddy.com and, you know, there's also like other apps and websites out there for married people that want to have a fling. I just
too
feel
many.
like it's just so much.
It's way too many
And
options.
it's very tempting for someone, a man or a woman, that is not happy in their union, but also isn't communicating this
Communication
to their
is
significant other. And this is what I
everything.
talked about with Taylor.
And this
Right?
is, I think, in most relationships, when there's a lack of communication is when there's the biggest problems that begin to creep. It's kind of like mold in a home. You may not see it.
Correct.
But you're eventually, it's going to come up and it's a big cluster.
Yes.
And you got to deal with it. And
Yes.
communication is vital with work, with family,
Anything.
in any realm. When you have your voice and you have your mind, you have to be able to communicate. And that's what, you know, a lot of, I think, infidelity could lead to is,
I agree.
Is potholes in communication.
Yes.
And then wandering and the temptation creeps in. All this begins to, you know, trickle in. In those moments of being vulnerable or kind of being, I wouldn't say weak, but having moments of, you know, not feeling your best.
Right.
Confident in your relationship, confident in yourself.
Right.
Doesn't always have to be the relationship's fault.
No.
It could be the person
Exactly.
not being well and in their mental state and not even communicating that.
Correct.
And then that's where, you know, these things can
Like I told
happen.
Taylor, I think a lot of people in their marriages and in their relationships, they expect their partner to just know.
To just have a crystal ball.
Right.
And as much as I try to say I have a great intuition, I can't.
But we're not all mind readers.
I can't.
And with our day-to-day, making money, paying bills, working, raising
Surviving.
children, surviving, you know, that in itself is hard enough in today's
gosh,
society.
yeah.
So in order to expect your significant other to know, obviously, unless there's already issues in the past and both of you know about it and you're not actively working on
not
them,
dealing with it.
that's different. But if you're keeping these things from your partner, I'm unhappy, or, you know, our intimate life is falling apart.
Or lacking.
There's so many ways to get help now.
Too many outlets.
So many. So I just feel like infidelity as an adult, when you have a wife or you have a husband and you have children, with all these things at your fingertips, to work on it as a team, right? Like all those things you say in your vows, you know?
It is, a relationship it's teamwork.
It is.
It's like, that's like a beautiful way I look at love. It's like two incredible tribes coming together to
Yes.
form this incredible bond that's
Yes.
supposed to be able to go through any storm.
Correct.
Highs and lows. So it sucks.
It does.
It deeply sucks. And I feel like with having too much accessibility and not communication, these are the two things I see the most in this day and age. And that's alongside with social media and the way we're rapidly evolving
Yes.
as human beings. And there's so many pros, but there's a lot of negatives that a lot of people also don't like to talk about and discuss. And that's why, you know, we want to shed light on that. Like, you know, people aren't alone in feeling these ways. There's a lot of people that can relate to you in so many different ways when it comes to your relationship. But we do live in a world that has so much accessibility. There is a therapist for every single thing that you could possibly think of. You have the internet, you have AI now. I mean, there's no excuses.
I swear, ChatGPT.
That's people say ChatGPT is
it's literally becoming their significant other.
Significant other. And you have it here for you.